Bennett Davison with the EuroHooplife podcast. We're going to be interviewing Jeb Ivey. Jeb, how's it going?
It's all good. Thank you very much for having me.
You pronounced the team name earlier about Finland. I'm gonna let you do that because it probably roll off my tongue as easily as yours. Let's jump right into it. What was the team? What was the situation like? How did you get out there? How long have you been in Finland? Let's give the viewers a little idea of what to expect if they had signed a contract with them.
The town was Loimaa. It's about 2 hours north of Helsinki. It's the Bisons of Loimaa, and this was my third year in Finland. And like I said, it was pretty close to Helsinki, but still far enough away to where it put a little stress on my family. It was isolated, a small town of about 15,000 people, probably less. Very, very rural, not urban at all. So it was, I was used to it at the time, but really this year was about, when I signed this contract, this was about, as I mentioned before, the previous 2 seasons, maybe a little bit disappointment and going back there and just unleashing my rage on the league.
Yeah. Yeah. We were just talking before we started this podcast that you had a little chip on your shoulder from the situation of playing for the team farther up north. And then you coming down and saying, hey, I need to find a good quality team. I need to be able to have players around me. I felt like I wasn't a focal point. Now this seemed like a year where you could really say, hey, I'm going to take the team on my shoulders and see what I can do.
Yep, this was my team. I was the captain, and I ended up having some great personal awards that I won by the end of the season. We won a championship. We actually, in the championship, we beat that team that I came originally to Finland to play for. So I had a lot of closure that year.
Outstanding. So let's dig right into it. What would a player expect if they were to be able to, what's the city like? You said it was 15,000 people. What were the facilities like? You said sometimes the Finnish people aren't all that welcoming, whereas I've been to places where there was like, hey, can I drive you to practice? Hey, let's go get some beers together. Let's go get coffee. Whereas Slovenia, everybody's like, hey, what did Eminem say in that one hip-hop song, where they just really want to know the American culture? How was Finland in the city that you played in this time?
So very, very country style town, as maybe some people have maybe experienced. You know, you walking down the street with somebody and eyes are up, heads are up. You say, hey, how you doing? And you just keep going. In Finland, it's a very tough front the Finnish people have. And once you break that front, they are the most warm, kind, gentle people. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, there's a big difference between the older generation, younger generation. Once you come there as a basketball player, you know, you have great teammates. Like, come on, let's go grab a drink. Let's hang out. Let's learn about each other. You know, let's develop some chemistry. So basketball wise, the basketball world, the basketball culture is not too far off, I think, wherever you go. But, you know, there are some social things just regarding where you go that you need to learn, get used to, and adapt to.
Okay. So what were the facilities like? How did they take care of you while you were there for that? I mean, because as a professional athlete, you get an offer Monday from your agent, probably sign it Tuesday. You have 3 days to pack, and you probably leave Friday or Saturday for 9-10 months. The average person is like, oh, where did Bennett go? He's like, oh, he just took off overseas, for 8-9 months. What was the facilities like? What could a player expect when he gets over there?
So as far as signing goes, I've had all different experiences. That year specifically, I signed very early, 3 months before, like right when I was done with the previous season, I signed. So the team knew what they wanted. I had a lot of security going into it, so that was really nice. That's not always the case. Could be, like you said, you know, literally days before, and then you're gone. You're on a plane. The facilities, the gym we played in was pretty sweet. Really nice floor. The floor really matters. You know, they had good resources in there. They had a weight room next to the gym. Back to the gym really quick. I forgot a detail about it. Lots of these Northern European facilities are connected to the schools.
Okay.
So the gyms that you use and play in are a lot of times are the gyms that the schools are using for PE and recitals and dances and ceremonies, and even the town. The town uses these.
It's like a rec center / university rec center
exactly.
/ professional facility.
Exactly. What I liked about this facility in Loimaa was that it was big. It had a nice floor. It had resources around it. And so we had a weight room probably 100 yards away, which was maybe during the heart of winter in minus 30 degree weather. It feels like a long walk, but It had the weight room. It had everything you needed. It had the big one restaurant in town where we got our free meals as players. And so, like I said, small country town, but really warm people, supportive people. They loved their basketball and volleyball. We shared it with the volleyball team, and really overall was a great experience. One of the best couple years, some of the best years of my experience in Europe.
So you enjoyed the coaching and the management and the whole kind of setup. It was like it was in sync. Whereas it sounded like 2 years before, it was like here's a problem, here's a little less problem, and it just kind of made the cohesiveness of you guys playing together a little bit more difficult. Sounds like this was a good situation.
The thing about this situation compared to the previous 2 years was the previous 2 years and those two teams had a lot of tradition and history, always in the top club, always in the playoffs, always fighting for championships. This club, this was their first year. This was their first year in the top league, in the Chorus Liga. And so they had this unique mentality. Ari Hanula was our manager, was our president, and he, in many ways, was similar to like a Mark Cuban. Really wanted to just add to the ambiance of games, make it dramatic, make it exciting. Have mascots, have horns, have flags, just do it big.
Be in the environment, enjoy the environment.
And he wanted to make it like that. He did him and one of my longtime friends, Alexei Valavory, did a phenomenal job of setting that environment and giving us players the best possible environment to play in and maximize. And the unique thing, and something that resonates with me since I was very, very young, was this being their first time in the top league. They had an underdog mentality. And I carry an underdog mentality since I was a kid, even to this very moment. And so that right there was it for me. And so everything that came, whether positive or negative or adversity during the season, we always had a great outlook. And I think one of the things that really, really helped was our head coach. And a lot of times when you're in Europe, you don't get an American head coach, but I did. You
don't even get a good quality coach. You just got a guy that says, hey, I got him in practice for 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours a night. I don't know why.
I read a book. I read this book. I'm a head coach. Right? So Greg Gibson, American, had played in Finland, was a professional turned coach, and is residing to this day in Finland. Huge advocate and dear friend of mine. But having him as our head coach and having his experience thrown in the mix, it couldn't have been a better scenario. Yeah. And so any adversity, negativity came. We had such a positive outlook, which is very rare in over there in European basketball. Everything's such a short leash and short-term memory. What have you done for me lately? And so it was a special year, and obviously the outcome was we won a championship and did it again the next year.
Outstanding. So what advice would you give to a player if they were about to sign, as we wrap up the interview? What would be some of the pros and the cons for playing with this team? It sounds like there's nothing but pros about signing with this contract with this team.
Yeah, the thing that I would say to a player is logistics. Pay attention to logistics. Where are you going to be in the country? What do you have around you? Find out who played there before. Find out any connections you have.
Reach out to them, talk to them, start a conversation.
Yes. Don't hesitate to reach out ever. I feel like a lot of times nowadays, if you ask questions, you'll look inadequate. You look vulnerable, and people don't like to feel that way. But that's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we get better, be better. So, if you are in a situation, do the research. Don't just look at the money. Don't just look at what's coming with the deal. Don't look at just one or two things. There's so much more that comes with putting your name on that line than just basketball. Yep. And those other things that have nothing to do with on the court allow you to be better on the court. And allow you to produce on the court, which in the long run helps you improve your career and get to the next step.
You put so much time in the basketball gym that sometimes you just need a place to go. Like, it was nice in Naples, whereas in Naples is just a kind of a chaotic, gypsies, always hustling, bad traffic. But sometimes the outskirts of Naples, like, hey, I just need to go up to Rome, or I just need to go down to Capri or Salerno, and just the places that you can get out and just say, hey, I'm here for 9 months. I can't do eat, sleep, practice, eat, sleep, practice, eat, sleep, practice twice a day for 10 months straight. You've got to have some kind of release. And that's why I was saying for reaching out to players like yourself is what would be the best way for someone to get in contact with you to ask you a question about the team and the situation? Even though it was a few years ago, the situation may not be the exact same as when you were there. But to know and get 80%, 90% of like, hey, this is an all around good situation, I would say yes, sign a contract with this team. What
Yeah,
advice would
I'm
you
on
give?
social. I'm on social media. I'm, type in my name. It's pretty easy to find me. You can also email me. I have no problem giving out my email address, ivyball33@gmail.com. I'm there. My wife is a great resource for any other spouses that have children or just are coming with their husband for the contract. We have tons of connections in Europe that we can help connect them to that will help them while they're over there. Not even in person, just over the phone. So we've spent years doing this for people. We continue to do it. We're happy to help. We're here as a resource. Please use us.
Outstanding. Euro Hoop Life, thanks you. Thank you, Jeb.
Thank you.
Have a good one.